The town was an ordinary and peaceful place, and every day its inhabitants went to the supermarket for groceries and basic necessities. But one day, everything changed. The huge supermarket Deep Darkness was a favorite place to shop, not only because of the low prices, but also because of the mysterious atmosphere reigning inside its walls. Every visitor felt an inexplicable unease as they entered the halls of the store. One evening, when the sun had already set over the horizon and the store was empty except for a small group of employees, strange events began to happen. Lights flickered, lamps crackled, and a cold wind blew through the store as if calling to evil. Among the employees was a young girl named Anna. She was new and didn't know the history of Deep Darkness. When she heard about the mysterious events happening in the store, she thought it was just rumors and fiction. However, that evening, when the store was empty and Anna was alone, she felt something strange. She heard a noise from far away, as if someone was wandering through the corridors. Her heart beat harder and she decided it was better to finish her work quickly and go home. Anna approached the cash register, but suddenly the lights went out and the store was as dark as night. She felt a breath on the back of her neck and turned around. A tall man in dark clothes stood in front of her, his face obscured by shadows. He whispered, "You shouldn't have come here, this place belongs to the darkness." Anna bounced away fearfully, but when the lamps came on, no one was around. She decided that the night was playing tricks on her and went on her way. It was getting scarier by the minute. Strange sounds were heard, ominous figures could be seen in the shadows. The employees were exhausted by fear and decided to leave the store, but the exits suddenly disappeared as if they had never existed. The store became a maze, and everyone who remained inside felt that something was wrong with them. They began to notice other visitors and employees disappearing before their eyes. Someone heard screams in the distance, but no one could find the source. Anna and a few surviving employees banded together and began looking for a way out. But each new turn led them to the same place. They were trapped in the store, and the store itself was clearly unwilling to let them out. Hours turned into eternity, and fear and despair filled their hearts. All hope of rescue vanished. It seemed as if the store had come alive with its own evil essence and devoured their souls. When everything seemed hopeless, they found an old, dusty book in one of the departments. On its cover were engraved strange symbols and signs. Anna began to read the ancient records, which told that the supermarket was built on the site of an ancient cemetery, and its founder had made a deal with the darkness. The deal gave the store unlimited power, but in exchange, the darkness demanded the souls of victims. From the moment the deal was made, the store became a cursed place, attracting those willing to pay their souls for cheap goods. Anna and her companions realized there was only one way out to break the curse by destroying the very bargain with the darkness. They found mysterious amulets that could destroy the sinister magical power. Now came the most dangerous part, finding the store's founder to destroy his deal with the darkness. In pursuit of their goals, however, the group faced horrors and trials designed to protect the cursed place. The store turned into a death trap for them, but Anna and her companions did not give up. They fought the power of the darkness, overcoming their fears and inner demons. Finally, they found the store's founder, an old man living in a mysterious room on the top floor. He had long been implicated in the curse, but when he saw the determination of Anna and her group, he realized they were stronger than the darkness. They begged him to break the deal, and finally the old man agreed. He handed them the amulets and told them that they must burn them on top of the store so that the powers of the darkness would disappear. But at the last moment, the old man declared that they must pay a price for their salvation. He demanded the soul of one of them in return for breaking the deal. Anna decided it had to be her sacrifice. She was willing to sacrifice herself to save her comrades. But suddenly one of them, Jack, offered his soul in her place. He explained that he had done a lot of bad things in his life, and this was his chance to make things right. The staff climbed to the top of the store, and there, under the moon, they burned the amulets. Everything was bathed in a bright light, and the power of darkness began to fade. Jack disappeared, and his soul was given to eternity to break the bargain. When they returned to the store, they found that the curse had been lifted and the supermarket had become a normal place. Anna and the remaining employees decided that they should close the store so that never again would anyone encounter its sinister darkness. They left the place, leaving the horror story of deep darkness behind them. The city was frozen in the cold fall night, when the megamarket supermarket usually sparkled with bright lights and the welcoming azure of its windows. This evening, however, promised to be very different. As the sun hid behind the horizon and the store fell into darkness, strange things began to happen. Light bulbs flickered, shelves creaked, and the air seemed drenched in fear. Most of the employees were already home and the store was empty except for a small group of those who remained, closing the store behind them. Among them was a young girl named Sophia, and it was her first day of work at Megamarket. She was excited for the opportunity to earn some money, but she immediately sensed that something was off about the place. The dark corners of the store seemed suspicious to her, and she looked around often, feeling like someone was watching her. Suddenly, when they were ready to finish their work, they heard strange noises from afar. Someone or something was rustling among the shelves. Sophia and her coworkers exchanged wary glances, and they decided to check what was going on. Moving cautiously through the aisles of the store, they heard heavy breathing and sinister laughter. Suddenly, the figure of a man in a black cloak appeared out of the darkness, wrapped in smoke and shadows. His eyes glittered with madness, and in his hands glittered an axe. "You shouldn't have come here," the man wheezed, threatening them with the weapon. "This is my place, and I will destroy anyone who dares interfere." Sophia and her colleagues were paralyzed with fear. They realized they were face to face with a maniac. The man looked like a madman ready to kill anyone who got in his way. There was a brief pause, but suddenly Sophia began to move. Her surviving instinct told her to act. She instantly turned around and rushed towards the door, and her colleagues followed suit. The maniac rushed after them, shouting and waving his axe viciously. He was fast, and his every movement was ruthless determination. They ran through the rows of food, maneuvering among the shelves and racks, trying to stay away from the maniac. Sophia and her coworkers were trapped in a megamarket with a crazed maniac, and they had no way out. The store had become a trap and every attempt to get out was unsuccessful. They were gripped by terror, and it seemed as if their entire lives had been rolled up on this grim place. Hours turned into an eternity, and Sophia realized that they had to do something to survive. She decided that they needed to join forces and try to confront the maniac. They split up, trying to divert his attention. One of the coworkers picked up a basket and threw it towards the maniac, drawing his attention away. Sophia meanwhile crept up behind him and tried to swing his legs around, but he was too fast. He dodged the blow and lunged again in pursuit of Sophia and her colleagues. Fear and despair gripped everyone, but they didn't give up. They knew that if they didn't find a way out of the store, the maniac would kill them all. Sophia and her coworkers decided to hide in the back of the store where the warehouse was. They closed the door behind them, hoping that this would prevent the maniac. But they were wrong. The man was like an animal stalking its prey. He started banging on the door, shouting that they would not escape and he would find them. Darkness and hopelessness gripped Sophia and her coworkers. They realized that they were trapped in this store with a dangerous maniac and hopelessly doomed. But suddenly Sophia saw a small window on the wall. It was small, but would probably be big enough for them to get out. They approached the window and began trying to open it. Desperation and fear led them to pure strength, and they were able to kick the window open. Cold air rushed in and they felt a rush of freshness. Now they had a chance to get out of this nightmare trap. They heard the knocking on the door again, and the maniac shouting at them to give up. But they were not going to give up. They were willing to go to any lengths to save themselves. Sophia and her coworkers quickly climbed out the window and disappeared into the night. They ran through the narrow streets of the city, feeling that the maniac might still be chasing them. But they didn't stop, their feet carried them forward until they were safe. They called the police, and the police came to the mega market store to deal with the situation. But when the police arrived, the maniac had disappeared. He disappeared as mysteriously as he had appeared. Sophia and her coworkers were terrified and shaken by this horrific experience. They could never again forget that frightening night at the mega market. The police launched an investigation and tried to find the maniac. But his footprints simply disappeared. He seemed to vanish into thin air, leaving behind only dark memories. Sophia and her colleagues decided that they should never go back to that store again. They closed that chapter of their lives and tried to forget what had happened. But the fear and horror will always be with them like a dark shadow. The megamarket supermarket has since been closed. It has become an empty and abandoned building, where memories of what happened will always haunt him. But no one knows what became of the maniac. He disappeared, as if he merged with the darkness of the night, and his dark deeds remained unknown. Sophia and her colleagues found the strength to survive this nightmare. Their lives went on, but they will never forget that terrible night when they encountered the maniac in the megamarket. That horrific experience will always stay with them, reminding them that there is always a dark shadow lurking next to the bright world.